we're semi-lucky that the school enforces the no cell phones in classes, you know,
But do
for
you think she would would you ever text your kids? Like, and I realize that I'm coming at you aggressively, so I apologize for that. But would you text your children in the middle of the day for no reason other than to say hello while they were in school?
yes. And I'll tell you the only reason why.
Are you kidding me right
No,
now?
I'm going to tell you the only reason why, because I know they don't have their phones at important times. And they'll text me, or, are you picking up Joey, or I have practice after school, you know. There's things, when things change, they
But you're
text.
the same guy. I want to hit you
Yes.
with a pillow. You're the same guy who thinks they shouldn't even have their
No,
phones.
I
on
don't think
school
they
top.
should.
Then why are you texting them in the middle of the day?
Because, like I just
Something
said,
that you could wait until literally they're out of class.
I know that they're not in class with their phone, for one. Yeah.
Before we started shooting this podcast, Lenny and I almost got into a fight over this exact conversation, and I can't believe your little hypocritical
I don't
self
know. It's not
is
about
one of those
hypocritical. It's
parents
about
texting their kids.
you've pointed it out to me many times that my kids are lucky and privileged to go to private school. And with that, I have two amazing, honor roll students that, yeah.
What does that have? Why
If they
do you
text
act like
me,
an honor roll student and stop texting them while they're in class?
if they text me, hey, I have this after school, I'm gonna respond, okay. But I know they're not in class doing that.
Okay, but my point is, that's not what I asked.
And I would be happy if they didn't have phones at school.
I'm talking about you texting them.
Yeah.
First, just randomly, like, bro, like.
No, I don't know. I don't text them. I don't text them out in the middle of the day for random nothingness. Okay. No, I don't text them. Hey, how's your day going?
I can totally see you sending them.
No.
You don't send them TikToks like you do me when I'm in the middle of a break on the radio trying to do
my
job.
You got your phone so turned off, it's not even funny.
Like, literally, I'm talking on the radio. He's listening to my radio show, and he's saying, hey, Kimmy B, we shooting today?
Well, whatever.
Never mind. You're a distractor.
So you shouldn't have your phone while you're on the radio.
I do. Every once in a while, I'll be like, he knows I'm on the air. What is he doing? Or I call people out and be like, why do people text you when they're literally hearing you talk on the radio? Oh my God, you're on the radio. Yeah. No shit. Then there was another person, Len, and I think that you're going to take this in a different direction, because we were talking about real world. Her purpose, or her reason behind wanting her children to always have their phones, is because she was severely bullied when she was in school, and she apparently had a teacher that did nothing about it. And it was like unwanted touching. Somebody had like cornered her in the back of the class and whatever, and the teachers did nothing. So she feels her child should have their phone and be able to communicate with her, at any given point in time during the day. And I ended up asking this person, I was like, so just to play devil's advocate, if your child was being bullied in the middle of the school day and text you, Mom, I'm being bullied right now, like, what are you going to do? Real life. Are you dropping everything? Are you telling your boss, listen, I need to go. My kid is being bullied, right? Are you showing up at the school and what? Confronting the bully? Are you having a conversation with the principal? Are you calling the teacher out of their classroom to address the situation and ask why they're not handling it properly? Is this more something where you'd be like, hey, honey, I love you. Hurt people. Like, are you just going to engage them in the conversation to be emotional support? Tell them we'll talk about this when school's out, or I'll pick you up today and we'll talk to your teacher. Like, or is this something that, as a parent, you would be like,
you're taking, and especially in today's day and age, bullying is so, who knows what it is today? It can be anything. They knocked my piece of paper on the floor. Mm-hmm. Okay, pick it up. Mm-hmm. Timmy, don't do that again. Today that's like they're pressing charges for assault. Mm-hmm. Which is, it's, so where do you take it? What is bullying? Well, didn't kids sit behind you in school and pull your hair?
No, I remember there was a boy. I went to a Christian school when I was younger, and it was like all grade levels, and it was a small school, so we were all kind of in the same classroom. And I had very hairy arms. Hello, like I was a hairy little kid. He used to make fun of me for that. You know what I mean? I had a unibrow, whatever. Like,
Mhm.
so I was definitely.
Did you live through it?
1000%. And I was a crier too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was an only child. I was, a little bit emotional, but I was very good on my own. Like, I was always very strong. Like, I didn't, I wasn't a needy friend. That wasn't the situation. But I definitely had kids. Kids are sometimes. Like, little kids can be horribly
That's
mean.
their job.
And I get that, and it can
It's
be
their job to season all the rest of the kids.
But there is a line that can be crossed if bullying gets physical. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Again, if there's unwanted touching, if it
Yes.
becomes that cyberbullying situation, which again,
Yeah.
if these aren't in school, there's a lot of things that can't be videotaped.
Well, I
There's a
told
lot
you
of
the
things
story.
that
I
can't.
told you the story about the cyberbullying with the kid at my daughter's school. The kid came in and punched the other kid right in the face.
Oh yeah. You did tell me
Yeah.
that, right? But
And that was straight up cyberbullying. But again, when did words become so damaging? Who
Well,
empowered?
here's the thing, though. I'm not invalidating anybody's feelings.
Mhm.
What I want to know though is when did parents start interjecting themselves into the affairs of tweens and teens? Like, we have seen adults on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, physically assaulting children who are bullying their child, right?
Yeah.
Getting onto school buses and grabbing kids by a backpack and pulling them off a bus. And that to me is mind blowing in itself. We've also seen videos of kids, roaming and roving in packs like wild animals and jumping the loner or whatever. And that's not right either. And it gets recorded on a cell phone. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you as a parent. Imagine Joey was getting picked on the school bus. Are you waiting outside that next day for the bus to come pick him up and then boarding the bus as a parent?
No, I'm whipping Joey's ass.
But that's and we know, and people who watch this podcast, with some sort of consistency, know that is in Lenny's character, whether you agree with it or not. But like, to the parents that are saying with relation to their kids having phones and access to phones and the reasons why they need to have their phones at all time, that it's because of bullying situations. Like,
yeah, tell your teacher.
Well, and so this parent's main issue was when she was bullied, the teacher didn't do anything about it. The teacher didn't care, and we've heard that. We've seen that in some of the comments.
And what was her bullying?
What?
What was
I told
the
you
extent?
She was the one that was like cornered. She was in the corner of a room, apparently, like cornered, stuck, and was touched. I don't know if it was inappropriate. It was
yeah. Well, that's not right.
Touching.
Yes, the teacher should have done something.
And there are some situations where it's the teacher who's doing the bullying. Like,
yes.
We've seen, the situation with the Muslim kids right here in Florida in the classroom that were praying, and the teacher stepped on their hands and said, "Not in my go back to your country." Or something. That's fired. And as a parent, I might just show up and whoop the teacher's ass.
Yeah.
That's not another student, though. That's a whole adult in a position of power and authority abusing it and mistreating children. That's a different conversation, right?
Yes.
And I realized that in some situations, phones have been helpful in schools, when it comes to reprimands and punishments for inappropriate behavior, because maybe a classmate has caught something on tape, whether it's a theft or an assault of another student or an assault of a teacher. But unfortunately, I think a lot of times the phone is the actual culprit.
Yeah.
In the situation, like the teacher. Do you remember the teacher? I'm sorry to cut you off, Len. The teacher that just ended up in the hospital a couple months ago. I know I sent you the video. The young lady and the teacher got into a war of words over the phone. The teacher had her phone.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher went to leave to go to the office because the young lady was losing her mind. And the girl ended up beating the teacher's ass, broke her arm, broke her leg. The teacher ended up in the hospital. It was absolutely wild. And the classroom, I think we had a conversation about it on the podcast.
I'm sure the girl's parents are suing the school.
Well, but the teacher is suing the school district as well. But the classroom just sat there and recorded it. And we were talking about, I think back in the day, like, you didn't disrespect teachers like that either. Like, somebody would have told her to sit down, shut up, like, let it go. And at this point, it was just a free-for-all. It was absolutely crazy. But again, the point of contention, the catalyst to all of that, to this young lady possibly ending up with charges pressed against her, right? That can deter her entire academic career
Mhm.
and future. This teacher ending up in the hospital was this thing. So if it's not in
It's
class,
crack.
you know what I mean? If it's not
It's
in
drugs.
class,
It's a
then,
drug.
you know, that whole situation never happens.
Correct.
So it's like, I don't know, there's so many different angles to look at it from. And